Good morning. In 2 Corinthians 5:7, the Apostle Paul told the believers in Corinth, and he tells us, to walk by faith, not by sight. The writer of Hebrews told his readers, and he tells us in chapter 11, that Abraham walked by faith and not by sight. In Genesis 12:1, God spoke to Abram and said, "Go, I will show you." And Abram did. What an example of a person who, as the New Testament writer said, walked by faith and not by sight. In our reading today, God made 3 promises to Abram, which eventually became 3 divine covenants. The first promise, to make Abraham a great nation, became the Mosaic covenant. In Genesis 15:7-21, God swears to rescue the family of Abraham from the oppression of a wicked nation and to give them a new homeland. The first promise takes shape during the Exodus from Egypt with the ratification of the Mosaic covenant, which forges the family of Israel into a nation, Exodus 19-24, as they prepare to take possession of the promised land in Deuteronomy. The second promise, to make Abraham's name great, became the Davidic covenant. In Genesis 17:1-21, God initiated the rite of circumcision and swears to raise up a dynasty of kings out of Abraham's line. The second promise materializes at the founding of the Davidic covenant, where the Lord installs David as king, swearing to give him a great name, 2 Samuel 7:9, and an everlasting throne, Psalm 89:3-4 and Psalm 132:11-12. The third promise, to make Abraham an instrument of blessing for the whole world, became the new covenant. In Genesis 22:16-18, the Lord swears to multiply the offspring of Abraham and to use them in blessing all nations. The third promise comes to realization in the new covenant as universal blessings are poured out on the world by Jesus Christ, the messianic descendant of Abraham. Matthew 1:1, Acts 3:25-26, and Galatians 3:14. This information I just shared is from the essay, The Abrahamic Covenant, page 75 in the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible. God told Abraham to go, and he went. God did not give Abraham reasons or explanations. He simply gave him promises. I will show you. I will make of you. I will bless you. I will bless those who bless you. The Apostle Paul said in Romans 10:17, so faith comes from what is heard, and what is heard comes by the preaching of Christ. God spoke to Abraham and told him what he would do for him and through him if he would trust and obey. We are not saved by making promises to God. We are saved by believing God's promises to us. God graciously gave his covenants to Abraham, and he responded with faith and obedience. How you and I respond to God's promises determines what God will do in our lives. The missionary mandate of the church does not begin with John 3:16 or Matthew 28:18-20. It begins with God's covenant with Abraham. We are blessed to be a blessing, from the Wiersbe's Old Testament commentary. May you be a blessing today and every day to all the people you meet. Amen.